When one computer on a network wants to contact another computer and it has the host name of the other computer, it will need to resolve the host name to the IP address of that other computer. The way it used to be done was through what's called a hosts file. This is a file that's stored locally. When the host name is looked up, it will go to this file and try to match the host name with the IP address. Once the computer has the IP address, it can go out and make contact with the other computer. When the internet was very young and first being developed, the way different computers would communicate with each other was by having a hosts file on each individual computer. Of course, you look at the internet now, and that's no longer possible. What has to happen is these host names need to be sent to a DNS server, and the DNS server can help you resolve these IP addresses. Sometimes you may be faced with a small network that's using TCP IP to communicate back and forth between machines, and the network is too small to justify putting a DNS server on. If that's the case, you can go to each individual machine and edit its hosts file. Let's go on and look at how we do this. I'm going to right-click on my computer, choose Explore. I'm going to go to my C drive and open it up. I go to my WinNT directory. Now, this is in the same location, whether it's on a Windows NT4 or a Windows 2000 machine. And you can edit it the same way with any text editor. Okay, so I double-click on the WinNT directory. I go into System 32, drivers, etc. And here's my hosts file. I'm going to double-click on it. It's going to ask me what program would I like to open this with. I'm going to choose Notepad. I'm going to make sure that the check box here that says always use this program to open this file is not checked. I click OK. Let's expand Notepad. This is the sample hosts file that comes with Microsoft. When you open this up, the pound signs here are letting the system know this is a remark. Once you get down here, you'll notice that there's been an entry here that's has the IP address and then the host name. Here's also an IP address and the host name. And there's a couple different host names. Rather than putting two separate lines, if I put and then I put, say, another name down here, it's not going to work on both. What it'll do is it'll read this, resolve it. You'll never get the proper resolution. If I have two names, instead what I'll do, I'll take this name here, I'll put a few spaces here and put the name there. So what you can have here is one IP address and a couple different names. But if after that I want to make a comment, I can do so by putting a pound sign and then my comment. If you'll notice with the example here, not only can it resolve addresses that are just a local name, but it can also resolve fully qualified domain names like you'd see on the internet. The example Microsoft gave with us here is rhino.acme.com. So I could very easily put a fully qualified domain name in here as well. As far as the limit, each entry can be up to 255 characters. So if you have a long, fully qualified domain name, you can put it in here. Now, once you're done with your entries here, it'd be best if this was an actual host file that I'm going to rely on all the time, is to remove all these comments, because every time it tries to find an address by going through the host file, all this information is going to be gone through. Yeah, it's going to check this line and say, oh, it's a comment. But then it's going to check the next line and say, oh, that's a comment. And the next line. This is done very quickly, but it can slow down the process. So it's best to remove all this. I'm going to go to File and Save. Typically, when I do this, there's no problem saving it. It doesn't typically want to put a .txt extension on this. But if it does, I need to make sure that I save it properly. The way I would save it properly is I go File, Save As. See here it's got text documents. I want to make sure that it doesn't put this extension here. To do so, I put quotation marks at the beginning and the end. When I click Save, it will save it as hosts. One last remark on the hosts file. The host file is not case sensitive. If you're dealing with a Unix machine, yes, the Unix machine is case sensitive, but the host file does not need to have that case sensitivity.